Good morning. Happy Tuesday, and it is the day after Labor Day. And COVID or no COVID, this is when the world starts cranking. Everybody goes back to work. Summer's over. This is when people start really doing their stuff. So everything is a matter of perspective, and that's what all of these things are. We use all this language. We use transformational vocabulary. We use all these ideas in order to try to continue to see things in a way that helps propel us forward. So if an egg breaks from the outside, life ends. But if it breaks open from the inside, life begins. So I thought of a story. I just opened up our new offices, and we have a conference room dedicated to my dad and one dedicated to my grandfather. And I was sitting in my grandfather's yesterday, and I thought of a story that happened to us that I'd totally forgotten. So he and I were on our way to Boston. We're walking through O'Hare Airport. I couldn't have been more than 10 years old. So this is probably 40 years ago at least. Back then, you dressed up in order to fly on an airplane. You wore a suit, and O'Hare Airport was full of people who would shine your shoes. In fact, it was kind of known that if you wanted your shoes shined, that's where you went. Guys downtown would get on the blue line and head out to O'Hare in order to get their shoes shined. Guys from the stock exchange, the commodities exchange, or the Dirksen building. So there was a line of chairs. Each shoe shine person has his own chair. There was a line of chairs, and you could tell as soon as you looked that the senior most people were in the front, where they had the best chance of getting somebody, and then the new people were all the way in the back. Cat is excited this morning. So as we were going, my grandfather, when he would get to the airport, he kind of stormed through the airport to get to the plane. That was kind of his thing. So we're walking along, and people are, do you want your shoe shine? Do you want your shoe shine? And he's just walking. As we went down, the person at the very end was way down at the end. He didn't have his chair right next to everybody else. There was this big gap. And he was standing there, and he was kind of watching everybody. And he didn't just ask everybody. I could tell that he was kind of looking and picking out, and I didn't have to worry about where I was going. I was just following my grandfather. Well, as we were looking, I saw him look down, and he was looking at everybody's shoes. And my grandfather wore Allen Edmonds shoes. And he would buy a pair of shoes, and he wore them literally for 30 or 40 years. So when he saw my grandfather's shoes, all of a sudden he started looking and he started counting. And he went 23, 24, and he stepped in front of my grandfather and he pointed at him and he said, 25. And he said, Sir, would you like a free shoe shine today? My grandfather stopped and he said, every day I give away 4 or 5 free shoe shines. Would you like a free shoe shine today? No charge. And it caught my grandfather by surprise, and it interrupted his pattern, and he went, and I said, we got plenty of time. And he goes, sure. So he hops up on the thing. The kid starts talking to us like crazy. It was a younger kid. And where are you guys going? Is this your father? Oh, this is he was very gregarious. He told us a joke. And he did an amazing job on my grandfather's shoes. He did the black stuff. He did the whole thing. And my grandfather was proud of his shoes. Anybody who wears Allen Edmonds is proud of their shoes, because otherwise you wouldn't spend that type of money on a pair of shoes. When they got all done, the kid said, thank you very much, sir. It was a pleasure meeting you guys. And he didn't stand there. He turned and started looking. And my grandfather said to him, hey, how much is a shoe shine normally? And the kid said, $2. And my grandfather said, you know what? Here's $5. And the kid said, well, that's not necessary. And my grandfather said, no, you did an amazing job. It was a pleasure meeting you. Here's $5. And the kid said, well, thank you very much, sir. handed him the $5, and the kid watched us for a period of time, and we started walking away. As we got further away, I turned around and I looked, and the kid was looking around and he spotted another guy, and he went 23, 24, 25. He had figured out a way to achieve his goal of shining a certain number of shoes that day, even though he was the last one in the line. And he did it with creativity. He did it with positivity. He did it by giving value first and then waiting to see if the person would give something back. He didn't expect that they would give something back. He simply used imagination and energy, and he was completely different from everybody else. Everybody else gave you the same pitch. And he also was smart. He had a plan. He targeted my grandfather because my grandfather wore high-end shoes, and he knew anybody that's wearing high-end shoes wants them to look good. So he took a shot. It isn't the wind that makes the difference. You're the one that controls the sails. Everybody always thinks that it's a lack of resources. It's never a lack of resources. It's always a lack of resourcefulness. So as we head into the week, it's a short week, but from now to the end of the year, this is when things happen. So let's get out there. Let's look at our goals. Let's focus on our outcomes, and let's go have a great day. Hang in there, everybody. We're all in this together. Let's take care of each other.